We don't normally flex, but
we've got
all my life, people tell me I would never amount to anything. Look at me now.
What slam? It's back to you, grouches. My crew just might roll on you like TP.
Official. Merch, motherfuckers.
We got merch.
Hey guys, welcome back to Lostlegendstv. We are Rated MC, and I'm Ray.
And I'm James.
So, Kevin Bacon. Back in horror.
One of the greatest American horror. I can't lie. I'm not saying he's trash, but I wouldn't have put him up there. I'm trying to hype it up. We're doing You Should Have Left.
Yep.
We're doing a review of the film. We finally got a chance to watch it. It's like, we watched the trailer.
Yeah.
Thought the trailer was pretty straight. We liked it. Kind of interested in seeing what Kevin Bacon could do with horror now.
Yeah, because he was in the original Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Robert Englund himself wants Kevin Bacon to play Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, he don't have his hand in horror, but he has his toe in the water, at least.
He absolutely could do it.
He's a great actor. I love him.
So, if you haven't seen the movie, for whatever reason, you really want to watch this movie, I'm not saying it's bad, but you haven't seen it, go watch it first, because this is going to be spoilers. Okay. So, let's get into it. So, it starts off, and it's an older man with a younger wife, who is played by Amanda Seyfried?
Seyfried, yeah.
Seyfried? Yeah. She was in Ted too.
Yeah.
And they have a daughter, and it starts off, daughter's in her bed. Mm-hmm. And I will say I was caught off guard when the little girl cussed. Because I wasn't expecting that. 100% was not expecting that. And she's just laying in bed and it's dark, and she can hear someone coming up the stairs. And you look, it shows you like the silhouette of a man with a hat on, maybe making you think it's the dad or whatever. But
yeah,
because that's what I was thinking at first, was he would come up there like he just got off work, and it was like it'd be a jump scare, yeah. But no, she hears it. She says, "Hello, is anyone there?" No one answers. Runs to the door, closes it. She said, "Goddamn," and I think she said "shit."
Yeah, I think so.
I know she said "goddamn."
Smart little girl.
She was smart. Closed the door.
Go back.
She went down. She laid down facing the door, then turned over, and old dude was on that side. And he made it where she couldn't breathe, she couldn't talk, and he was just talking to her about how her daddy was so lucky to have her and all this shit. And then, you can answer, go breathe. And she started breathing. How do you know my name?
Say my name.
I know plenty. And like, he started to choke her again, and then she woke up, and she was like freaking out. And then he was there again. Yeah. They got me with that. And then
he picks a fucking little girl up and basically fucking does, fucking Michael Myers.
Yeah.
The one little girl. I mean, like, no remorse whatsoever.
No. Then Kevin Bacon's character wakes up.
Yeah.
And I swear I would have laughed my ass off if it happened again. But, so he woke up and that was his nightmare, the whole thing. And
one thing Kevin Bacon does throughout the film that I found funny, every time he wakes up from a horrible nightmare, he's like, fucking nightmares. He said that after every nightmare.
He did.
Fucking nightmares.
Speak. Fuck. Good boy.
Basically, the story goes, he is a wealthy banker who has a dark past, which involved the death of his wife. He went on trial for it.
He was a suspect.
He was acquitted. Was told he'd go free, but everybody knows his name. So if he goes somewhere, they kind of like look at him like he's...
Yeah, like he's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
And she, evidently, the story is she took some medication and she drowned in the bathtub. He came home, found her. The rest is history. Made a trial. He's basically famous. And if you're in that situation, America's going to look at you like you're a fucking killer, regardless on if you did it or not.
Exactly. So then we got his wife was an actress. And the one day he goes to see her at work, she happens to be doing a sex scene. And that was just like hella awkward for his ass. Dude legit would not let him in. He didn't give a fuck.
No.
I'm her husband. He didn't want to say his name. I'm her husband. And he was like, I don't have that on here. I need a name. And finally he said his name. Dude was like, he said his name. And he finally got in there. But I was...
yeah, because all you hear in the background is, ah.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And then it was like,
Guys,
because
rolling.
you legit can't see anything at all. You just hear it off in the background. There's like, cut. We need to do that scene one more time, one more take. And
It was just so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
Just both like,
they ended up like having sex in the car, and she said like, "Oh, it's so great to do that for real, and I have to fake it." There's some weird shit, and then they basically set up like, "Hey," because she's supposed to be filming in England and like or in London in like
8 weeks.
for 8 weeks. Like she has like 2 weeks beforehand, so they would go book a place in the country in London.
Get away from society,
Yeah.
fucking relax, have some family time.
Exactly,
With,
and they get what threw me off.
Ella?
Like Ella, is the daughter.
Ella's the daughter's name.
And it's Suzanne, and I cannot remember Kevin Bacon's name. No, Theo.
Theo, yeah.
There we go.
Theo Bacon.
It's not it. I think it was Conroy actually. I'm coming up with it. So so they get to this place, and here's what threw me off from the jump. Okay, they found a place in the country, right? There's literally no one around for a good bit.
Yeah.
But this is the most modern ass house you've ever seen in your life.
It's out of place.
It's so out of
Like,
place.
even when he goes to town, to get some groceries and shit, it's like an older village.
Yeah.
Like, they never upgraded and shit. Like, they still have, like, when you buy bread, it's not slices of bread, it's fucking palm bread. Like, you buy it on a fucking stick, you have to slice up. Like, then you have this fucking nice-ass fucking house. It's like, this ain't right.
It sticks out hard.
Like, fucking sore thumb.
And so, like, the whole time, like, they're going, they're searching this house and everything. They're looking at it. They're loving it. And then it's like nighttime. They put Ella to bed, and they were going to watch a TV show together. And it was like 10:35. He said, "I'm going to go cut the lights off downstairs real quick." It shows him going downstairs to cut the lights off. He cuts everything off, and then he sees there's like lights on this hallway. He's like, "God, you have so many lights." He goes on and he finds this room. It's like a little, kind of like an office with like a little couch and everything, but it also leads to like the laundry room and everything. Mm-hmm. He cuts that off, but then there's a light in the laundry room. And then like he goes in there and there's like a picture of a dude with a fucking baseball cap, like an actual like photo stuck on the wall. And that was real weird. He just didn't acknowledge it. He just said whatever. Yeah, and then left the room. The light came back on. And then he goes upstairs. Susie's asleep. And he wakes up. She freaks out and says she had a nightmare. And he's like, how did you fall asleep so quickly? And then he lays down and doesn't see the time. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's past fucking 3 in the morning.
Like,
Boom.
It took him, 4 hours? No, 5 hours to go turn the lights off. Yeah. This is like, for whatever reason that time should happen.
And it has small, subtle details like that. Like, if you don't pay attention to some of the things in this movie, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Throughout the whole thing, there's a theme for Kevin Bacon. He is a dick.
Yeah, he's a fucking prick.
Huge dick. He has jealousy problems, trust issues. Like, there's one point where Susie's taking a fucking bath and he's searching through her phone, through her fucking laptop,
fucking iPad,
whatever he could fucking do to search. He didn't find anything.
Nope.
But like, he had an argument with her because she told their daughter his story and he wanted to tell her, and he was being an asshole about it. But then he finally calmed down. The next day, like, he was having these weird nightmares and stuff. And he had one where that room, that little office room, instead of just being 2 doors, which is the one from the hallway and the one to the laundry room, there was a third one in the middle. And he went through that.
There's like this long fucking spiral staircase.
Yeah.
Like, it's not logical the way it was, but again, that plays a theme throughout this movie.
Yeah, so he goes in there and like, he flips out, finds Ellie's dead body. He's like, "Oh my God, this has got to be a drink." He's like trying to do whatever he can to wake it up. Found a bottle, broke the bottle, stabbed himself in the neck to wake up.
Also slashed his fucking wrist.
Yeah, he did whatever he could to wake the fuck up. But there was like the first day when they went outside, which is when like she told the daughter the story of his story. He went to the grocery store, and that was probably one of the funniest scenes because like the dude came in, he told her, "All right, I need bread, milk." And like when he was going down the list, dude went and grabbed one thing, then another. Like, he did it one at a time, and then told him to check the right angles.
Yeah, he gave him like this fucking protractor.
Yeah, like a little like, and it was just weird, which actually ended up playing into the thing. So after him acting a fool, whatever, He's in the living room. He can look outside. He sees his wife and the daughter playing. They were talking about leaving.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're all having nightmares. They're all having problems in this house.
It's unsettling. So they're
going to get the fuck out. And so he texts her. Y'all look so cute. Send the message. Then he heard the vibrate, and her phone's right there. But
that's not the phone she has in her hands.
She has a phone in her hands. So my first thought was, all right, you need to call her on that. You need to just take that phone out there and call her on it. And he didn't do it immediately. He sent a couple messages.
Yeah.
To see. But finally, he takes the phone out there. He confronts her.
I mean, well, he had the courtesy to say, "Hey, baby, Ella, go inside. I need to talk to your mama."
True.
Then he just, it's weird because he was upset about it, but he didn't get mad. Like, he was, you ever met somebody, you pissed them off, and they was calm about the whole thing?
He was calm the whole time. She said, I would legit be happier
if you just fucking yelled at me right now.
Fuck you!
And it didn't even seem like she was actually cheating.
No.
It never really seemed like it. It just seemed like she had a work phone. You know what I mean? Because, like, she never...
Nah, Mitch was balls deep in that thing.
It was Max, I think, wasn't it?
Mitch Max.
Something like that. But... he kept saying that. Like, he was being an asshole to her. Like, talking about, like, how many men she fucked or whatever. Like, then, like, told her basically she had to leave.
Yeah.
And she was going to take the Ella. He's like, the hell you are. You don't get to make the rules. They're all in the rules now.
You broke them.
So, she took off in the car. And him and the daughter stay there. And she knocks over this glass of water. And there's just, like, 2 puddles on the floor. He does an experiment and it does it again.
Because the thing, because like the way it's patterned, it tilts downhill a little bit and it doesn't spread. So that's where the protractor comes in. He starts checking the angles and nothing adds up. Nothing.
So he measures the inside of the house, which is like 20, like in the living room basically. It's 26 feet. Goes outside, measure it, and it's 21 feet. So it's 5 feet longer.
Yeah.
And then he's having Ella do all this stuff with him to help him figure out like the angles and stuff and how everything is. And then she's like, I'm kind of cold. He's like, go get your jacket. He watches her run in, grab her jacket, and instead of coming back out the same door she went in, there's another door which would it leads right outside. So like there's a hallway, there's the door was open, and she walks through this one door to come this way. And just fucking disappeared.
This is where shit hits the fan. Like, from this point on, shit gets out of space.
Eventually, he found her, but, like, he spent a few minutes looking for her, like, film-wise.
Yeah, because what starts happening, right? And before we go into this, back to that room he was talking about. He's, like, in this, I wouldn't say, like, therapy, but he does, like, these therapy sessions. Mm-hmm. And he, like, writes down his feelings in a journal because he's naturally a pissed-off guy. You know, he's depressed a lot, and that comes in play. So he keeps his journal in his office, okay? So once he goes back in there and looks for Ella, each fucking room he goes in, it starts fucking changing. Mm-hmm. Like there's fucking hallways and rooms upon rooms. Like, he'll go all the way down the hall, end up back in the fucking room he was in. It's basically fucking purgatory at this point. Yeah. And he gets stuck in basically a fucking time loop.
Also, that book that he wrote in, at one point before Susie left, because I forgot to put that, he opened it and it said, you should leave. You should fucking leave now. And it was after he had this weird encounter with people in town that were talking about the house and shit. But, so, like, it's like purgatory. And then you see Ella, who's basically in this, like, basement area, and there's a woman in a tub. Mm-hmm. And she just hops out and comes towards Ella. And it's, like, freaky as shit. And he keeps looking for her, and like he ends up finding her on the staircase. Yeah. Like, just like on the staircase, he was like, "Fuck it, where'd you live?" He tells her to grab her jacket.
yeah. One funny thing about that, like they go to walk out the fucking door. The fucking door is locked. He's like, "Oh no!" And Ella's like,
"You want to unlock the door?"
Yeah, you want to unlock the door.
That was hilarious.
But anyway, they start walking down, and it's fucking freezing cold out. Like, you can see.
And they tried calling Suzanne, like she just did not answer. Yeah. Like it was like either she was out of service or her phone was off or dead or whatever.
Yeah, at one point they called the old dude from the store.
Yeah, And he was just creepy as shit.
And he was before, everybody in town knows about this fucking house and not to go there. And basically trying to warn him. Yeah. And he's basically like, hey, bro, you're fucked. It's your problem now.
Yeah. And there's pictures on the wall and shit. And it's just.
We need a taxi. What taxi? We don't have taxis here. Yeah. We're a fucking village.
Yeah. So he starts walking with Ella. They're going downhill the whole time.
Downhill.
And he's carrying her. They were walking out. And she looks back. She said, there's a man in the house. And you look back and you see a silhouette of a dude in the house. Silhouette. And he's like, all right, well, he picks her up. Takes her, he start walking. She's talking about how cold she is. She's cold. They've been walking for a long ass time, and he's like, "I see lights. I see lights." And he's like, "Okay."
They finally make it to the opening gate.
Yeah, yeah. And they're back at the house. They went basically in the circle. There's no way they could have because they were on a road. And Ella, who's the smartest fucking person in this film, was like, "That makes no sense." We went downhill the whole time, and he was just like, "We're gonna go back in the house because it's too cold. We won't survive out here." I'm not going back in that house. He's like, we won't survive out here. And he gets on like, we just made it back. No, that doesn't add up. We went downhill. And I love that little girl for that. She is definitely one of the smartest characters in thriller or horror films ever.
Yeah, props to her, man.
So they go back in the house. They land in bed. He hears a photo being taken. And then he hears water running. And he goes in the room, and he had told Ella, we're not going to leave each other's sight. Yeah. And walked into a room, and the door closed, and then...
Got his ass.
Yeah, that shit started going crazy.
Then you go through the whole fucking purgatory thing. But this time, he starts to relive, not really relive, but basically relive the moments from where they got there, the moments they start arguing, the fucking journals, and shit all start to add up. And
he literally walks in, and he sees... Susie outside, he thinks it's day, and she walks in, and he walks in behind her. Yeah. And they're talking about the house like what they did originally, and he even has this scene where he opens the door and he sees himself writing in his book, and early in the movie he was writing, and his pen started fucking up, so he threw the pen, and he's trying to talk to himself, and he wouldn't listen, so he wrote in the book.
And that's what he wrote in the book. You should have left.
And he didn't know, he wouldn't think like that.
Time loop.
Yeah, and then so he finally gets to Ella. And there's the dude in the baseball cap blocking him, talking to him about this stuff, and he keeps swinging at him and hitting him, telling him to give him Ella. It's just not happening.
One thing about this dude, from the very beginning, I thought he looked very, very similar to Kevin Bacon. Yeah, and that kind of plays out in the film too.
Yeah, because then it turns out that dude is Kevin Bacon because he's basically been running from himself. Because he openly admits it to Suzanne, he actually let her die.
Yeah, because at the very end, after the confrontation, this guy, I guess you can interpret him as the devil, I guess. That, or maybe a reaper or something like that. Or maybe just, he's in some kind of purgatory, and he has to choose between, he has a chance to go free now. He can get in the car with them and just fucking leave. But he chooses not to, because... you can't run from your fucking past. You can't run from yourself. Yeah. That part was beautiful in the movie. Yeah. Again, he told Ella bye. He told Susanna, hey, I killed her, Yeah. I saw her go under from the medication. I didn't stop. I was so pissed off, and I hated her. So
in a way, he didn't purposely kill her. He didn't do it to her.
He let her die.
But he came home early, saw her there, could have got her out of the tub, didn't. And... So basically, it shows a flashback, and when Ella said there was a man in the house, it was him. It was Theo standing in the thing, just
looking at them leaving.
So he's basically just stuck in the house, and I do agree that was a beautiful thing, him letting them go. But again, it could have all been solved had he not fucking blown up about the whole phone thing. Even if he blew it up, they could have just left together, and you could have settled that shit at the hotel.
And so, after, I guess what you would call a climax of the movie, basically what happens, what they lead you to believe is the house consumes, I guess, his soul, because everything goes back to normal. The very last scene of the movie on the website that they booked at, it was unavailable, and it's for rent again. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, they mentioned throughout earlier in the film, hey, you sent me the link. No, you sent me the link. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the house finds you. Yeah. You don't find the house. So then, like, there's an opening shot of the hallway and a whole bunch of pictures of people on the wall. I'm guessing victims of the house. That seems to be like a reoccurring theme because, like, the townspeople will tell you they'll tear down the house, build a new one. They'll tear down the house, build a new one, and that's basically like a gateway of purgatory.
Overall, I didn't mind the film. I thought it was nice. Like I said, there were several points. Like they had some like kind of funny moments. They had a really smart character and a child.
Kevin Bacon was very well.
Kevin Bacon did nice. I even liked Amanda's performance.
The only thing I disliked about the movie is, like, I've seen this in movies a whole lot before. Like, it didn't do anything new.
Yeah.
You know, what they did well. They didn't do anything new.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes away from me.
With that being said, I still thought it was a decent film. Like you said, it's nothing new. It wasn't like a new take on anything. I probably wouldn't have seen the exact ending coming. You know what I mean? I kind of had a feeling he might have actually killed her.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have seen it go that way.
I had a hunch he did, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you had pretty strong characters, actors, pretty strong story. There's just nothing contributed to something new. Mm-hmm. You didn't do anything new.
And there wasn't like a lot of fucking characters neither.
No. Like it was very simplistic.
6, 7 people. Yeah. I do also like there was one scene that was really nice where he looked away because he heard some noise down the hallway and his reflection was still looking this way and not looking behind him.
Yeah, like there's going back to what I said earlier, there's very subtle details. Like there's just one part where I noticed, like I had to go back and rewind it and make sure I saw that shit right. It's just very subtle. He walks by this doorway, right? The door is closed. But as he walks, the door is open.
Yeah.
He never goes in the room.
Yeah.
That's just like small details. You have to pay attention to it. If I was going to rank it, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. 5 being your average movie. I like this, kind of biased towards Kevin Bacon, but that little girl really sold it for me.
I'll go 6 out of 10 as well. It's better
Slightly above average.
Yeah. And again, just being 6 doesn't mean it's a bad film.
Yeah.
I mean,
5 is your average
film.
Average film.
Tell us what you thought about the film. Have you seen it? Tell us what you think about the merch.
If you want to flex on these hoes with us, he has one.
I have one. Mine's dirty. I wore it already to work. But let us know what you thought about the film, about the merch, anything else y'all want us to check out.
Anything we missed in the film, though.
Anything we missed in the film. But until next time, y'all. Deuces.
Adios.